can see that there's 5 people here and the baby. Okay. Alright. So, thank you everyone for listening today. After when our children are born, we see them as either a boy or a girl. From the beginning, even in the hospital, we're labeled with either a blue or a pink ribbon. Recently, in my interpersonal communication class, we discussed gender identity disorder. You may all be looking at me a little bewildered if you haven't heard that term before. Well, honestly, I was too, but after coming to an understanding of the topic, it sparked a flame of interest. We watched a video about an 11-year-old girl named Jasmine Jenkins, who since the age of 3 had experienced gender identity disorder. This was truly one of the most startling, yet intriguing and amazing stories I had ever heard. At first sight, a beautiful 11-year-old girl, you would never know that she was biologically a boy. We were only required to watch the first video that followed Jazz's life, but I couldn't stop there. I was so into the situation simply because of the fact that I had just became a new mom, and honestly, I wanted to know more about a child who could think that she was a boy or a boy that was a girl. In this new age, life of the LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered has become a social norm and a subject that causes a great debate. It's hard not to be pulled into such a controversial subject. After watching hours of the videos documenting about Jazz's life, my main question was, does gender identity disorder cause low self-esteem? How can children or young adults who reportedly seem to be tormented inside of their brains be capable of living a healthy and happy life? Unfortunately, after doing much research, I found that psychologists don't seem to think that they can. Several stated that things such as they become socially isolated or they're at a greater risk to attempt suicide. I originally thought that if given the opportunity and left alone, that these people could live a life happy in solitude. Jasmine's parents were considering allowing her to take a medicine that would stop her from going into puberty, which means she would not develop as a male. And then later in life, letting her get a sex change. I thought to myself, is this the right decision for parents to allow an 11-year-old child to make? And then, after reading more, I saw that studies said people who prefer one identity as a child no longer feel that way if allowed to go through puberty. So maybe Jazz's parents are not making the right choice by allowing her to make this decision before she's even gone to think like a male. This subject only got more confusing the further I journeyed into it. I ended up with more questions than answers because scientists still know so little about the situation. What would be the best solution? Can society learn to accept this? And ultimately, are we helping or hindering our children by influencing such a disorder? Still, so much research to be done in order to understand such a confusing situation.